Hi, my name is Al Buss. In this video, I would like to talk about what affects the price of our power.
I'd like to begin by just clarifying the difference between energy and power. A kilowatt hour is a unit of energy. Kilowatts are how we measure power. And if you look at this picture here, that should help clear up the difference between those. The house on the left, they burn one light bulb for 10 hours. It's a 100-watt bulb. So they're using 1 kilowatt hour of energy. 100 watts times 10 hours equals 1 kilowatt hour. The house on the right uses 10 light bulbs. They have them all on at the same time, but they only have them on for 1 hour. So while their lights are on, they are using 1,000 watts of power. 10 light bulbs times 100 watts equals 1,000 watts. And they also consume 1 kilowatt hour of energy. Let's take another look at this chart from the first video. The 10.96 cents per kilowatt hour that we pay to Scenic Rivers gets divided up where 5.24 cents is demand charges, but it's also called the cost of power. 3 cents are what they call avoided costs, and that is the price of energy. And the last 2.72 cents is money that the co-op uses to pay for its debt and interest and other expenses. Many places will bill that separately and call those distribution costs. Right now, Scenic Rivers rolls all these costs together, and it just shows up on our bill as an energy charge of 10.96 cents per kilowatt hour. Since the power costs are the largest part of the pie, let's look at how those are calculated. This curve shows the load on the August 20th of last year. You can see the highest point of the curve happens right a little bit before 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So what will happen on this day, the highest 15 minutes that occurred during that day is the power charge that the co-op would pay for that day. When Dairyland Power calculates that power charge, they'll do this on the highest 9 or 10 days out of the year, and then somehow work those numbers together to determine what the final power charge that Scenic Rivers pays is. This chart shows us the comparison between wintertime use and summertime use. You can see here the summertime peak is quite a bit higher than the wintertime peak. So we are drawing quite a bit more power in the summertime.
One of the things that I think is important to know how this affects our costs is, for these 9 or 10 days out of the summer that we hit these kind of peaks, there are power plants out there that only run a handful of days just to meet these peaks. The rest of the year, those power plants sit idle. They still need to be maintained. They still need to be paid for. They still need staff to take care of the plants. But they only run a handful of days out of the year, and so we have to pay for them year round. So where that's something we can do to save a lot of money is lower those peaks so we don't need these extra power plants. Make better use of the ones that run all the time and avoid these ones that only run some of the time.
How much do these extra power plants cost us every year? The best number that I can come up with is about $250 per 1,000 watts per year. For reference, 1,000 watts is about the same amount of power that a microwave draws. When I'm asking the co-op to be more transparent about these expenses and the factors that affect our prices, the things I'm looking for is I'd like to see in real time when these peaks are occurring. I'd like to see more effort put into education about the actual costs of these peak events and what we can do to manage them better.
We get a lot of information about how to use less electricity, but that is really only, as you can see, not that big a piece of the pie. The bigger piece of the pie is when we use our electricity, and we really don't get the information we need to be able to manage that better. Um, we can do much better. Thank you.